Hello, I'm David Maggard, a commercial real estate appraiser for Colliers International Valuation. Today I'm checking in with Arthur David Porosoff. Arthur is a real estate investor with numerous units under management with his personal portfolio. He's also the founder of Porosoff Partners, which is currently offering approximately 800 apartment units for sale in the South Florida area, primarily focused on Miami-Dade County. Arthur, it's nice to see you, but most of all, it's nice to be here face to face without a mask.
For sure, absolutely, David. And I'm stoked to have you hang out with us, come over here. I'm honored to be in your presence. Hands down, my favorite appraiser in South Florida. So
Thank you.
whenever I'm under contract and then all of a sudden I get their appraisal report and I see your name on it, I'm always happy because I know we're always going to have fun during the property inspection.
Likewise. So I have a few questions that I have to ask about in regard to rent collection, tenant sentiment towards rent relief, investor sentiment, and valuations.
Okay, great.
So let's get into it. Okay. But first I have a quick fact. The National Multifamily Housing Council Rent Payment Tracker found 93.3% of apartment households made a full or partial rent payment by May 27th in its survey of approximately 11 million units of professionally managed apartment units across the country. So Arthur, how many units are in your personal portfolio?
We're under a couple hundred apartments.
Out of those couple hundred, rent collection ratio for the month of May? Where'd you fall?
They must have broken into my property management software because it's pretty close to that. If I told you we're in the low to mid 90s, I mean that's pretty spot on. So it's an impressive statistic.
Continuing on through June,
yeah.
How's June look?
June we thought was going to be a little bit more complicated. It was funny amongst all the owners. We talked to a lot of different owners on a daily basis throughout South Florida and all the different marketplaces, and the general consensus was, hey, everybody's going to pay April, just because they don't know. Then May, if people got their their monthly, the government, 2,000, 3,000.
Right.
Yeah, they got the monthly check, and then everybody thought June would be the big month where nobody paid, and I got to tell you, we've been completely consistent throughout the whole time, so we've been pretty fortunate.
That's good to hear.
Yep.
Are your tenants asking for any rent relief though?
We have tenants that have asked for rent relief, and we've worked with them accordingly.
How is that? What's working with them? What does that mean?
Every tenant has a different situation. So, it's so funny, like all the management companies, I had so many people call me up before the pandemic. Hey, what do we do? Should we send a letter? Should we, everybody wanted to come up with a solution before they really understood the problem. And I think you got to understand the problem, talk to the tenants, and then based on their needs, come up with a strategy. I mean, I'm fortunate to have a manageable portfolio. I mean, if somebody has, one of these REITs or, large property management companies where they have hundreds of thousands of units, it can get complicated. But from our perspective, we were pretty hands-on, and we weren't affected so much by the tourism industry down here. So, and I suppose that's where a lot of revenue comes from, food and beverage, tourism. So I guess we didn't have a lot of tenants in that segment, so we fared pretty well. We worked things out and we structured deals according to the person's potential cash flow that they would be, producing over the next few months.
Nice.
Yeah.
Porosoff and Partners.
Yep.
First, congrats, starting your own brokerage.
Thank you.
21 properties currently on the market, totaling 800 units.
Yep.
Amazing.
Thank you.
My question's about investor sentiment.
Okay. I'll chime in real quick, and we'll do investor sentiment. But we recently teamed up with a large national firm. They've got a strong footprint in New York, a strong footprint in California, mid-northern California, Southern California. So we teamed up with Compass.
Great.
So we're powered by Compass now. We did a deal with them. We're kind of running the commercial division for South Florida. So we're pretty excited about that.
I hope you much success. I'm sure you will.
Thank you so much.
The track record shows that you are an amazing broker, and I'm sure it's going to be carried.
We have fun. We have a great team, and that's what it's all about. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Investor sentiment, with respect to the sentiment in the marketplace, and what
has the supply of potential buyers shrunk?
No way, not whatsoever.
Less offers, same amount of offers.
More people. I got off the phone with a lady last night. She's coming from Haiti, and she wants to bring her capital in from Haiti. We're getting calls daily from New York City. We're getting calls from California, from Texas. Funny enough, Texas, not so much, but we do have some Texas people, but a lot of people from New York. A lot of people want to come to tax-free states, and the demand has been strong. Especially, we're in a B, C class product for multifamily. 100 to 150 units in South Florida. Anything under $30 million, and in that price range, and we focus on markets, coastal markets, urban core markets, and the demand has been strong. Everybody wants to own in the city of Miami now. It's funny, Miami Beach was hot, now everybody wants city of Miami, and everything down in South Florida, Fort Lauderdale. So you have a lot of strong drivers down here, and people want to own, and it's easy to operate, and they see the benefits in ownership.
What about financing? Still using Freddie Mac, Fannie Mae? And are they asking for the reserves to be increased, or are you going with more banks? Where are you going with your capital?
Yeah, so the agency debt's completely prevalent. Freddie small balance, the Fannie deals. We're doing a Fannie deal in Hialeah right now, 100 units on a refinance. Low loan to value, so they're not asking for reserves. So it's a function of the dynamics of the loan. If you're going to go for max proceeds, they'll probably ask you for some reserves, which they'll give you back after a year. So the agencies are very aggressive. Their rates are still phenomenal. They're in the low 3s for debt. So that's fueling the multifamily market. It's the one product type that you could still get debt on, as opposed to retail or hospitality. And on the private banking side, the community banks, they're working. They're still doing deals. I think they're a little bit more conservative than the agencies, but nonetheless, I think the debt's prevalent with them. More reserves.
You're painting a pretty picture.
Yeah, and well, it's the reality. And then owner financing, so you could still do an owner finance deal. So deals are being done.
Have you come across any buyers that retrade because of COVID? Post-COVID, not just because of retrading. Of course, that's a negotiation tactic, but because of COVID.
Well, if they didn't try, I wouldn't give them credit. So everyone's going to try. But at the end of the day, the seller needs to sell and wants to sell. And, we're in a distressed, the perception is that we're in a distressed climate environment, but this is not a distressed situation in South Florida. The properties are still performing, so they're not distressed assets. So just because you have the climate doesn't necessarily infer that the assets are going to sell for any less. But I think everybody tries.
So you mentioned distress. So valuations, variables, rent collection, not rent collection, but rent reduction. Are you seeing any rent reduction? Are you staying in that market?
I know
what
we
about
talked
the Airbnb coming on supply? Is there adding extra?
Well, yeah. I mean, I think if you have some units that were off market and instead of the non-transient people were doing more transient rentals with Airbnb on the furnished side, you may see some of that inventory redeploy as furnished non-transient stays. So maybe you have some more inventory coming back. And for those furnished units, are they getting a premium? Maybe before they would get a little bit more of a premium, just because there isn't that much. There's not that many drivers pulling people down here today. I think they're coming from New York and from different places.
So no reduction on regular market rent, but maybe some of the Airbnb that's already staged or furnished, they're going down to market.
I think so. I think that'd be a fair assessment. And you know what? We're talking about urban core assets, coastal properties, smaller buildings. Those are a lot easier to manage.
Given anybody for a potential renter?
We've rented 7, 8, 9 units in the last 60 days.
Pay on day one?
Everybody's been paying first class and security. So.
Lastly, are you factoring in any risk or uncertainty in the cap rate in regard to unemployment or COVID?
I mean, you want to do a 25 bip, throw out, then go for it. But as far as really seeing any major concessions on assets at this time on multifamily, I'm just seeing more of a demand. We went to market today on a building and we got offers. There's offers. There's people that want to buy. So I can't tell you. I hate to be so optimistic about it.
No, man, it sounds good.
But multifamily is the one product that people want to continue to own.
Art, thanks for checking in with me, sharing with my viewers. This is great information. God bless and be safe.
Awesome. Thank you, David.